Hello, I am Jamie, and this is the vlog for August 30th, 2020. It is about 10:20 p.m., and these things make amazing mirrors for getting my wet hair somewhat under control. Because since moving to Washington, I've learned that nothing dries. Um, and my hair is all wet because we took an epic hike today. Kiddo and I went up to North Kitsap uh, North Kitsap Heritage Trails. It's a big trail system in Kingston slash Paulsbo slash Indianola. It's kind of like at this section of all of them. I think it's technically in Kingston. But I had registered us for a virtual 5K back in March. I think right about when quarantine happened. Every day we had been going out for lunch because there was no school. So every day we had been going out front and walking about a mile in the neighborhood for, during lunch and picnicking lunch outside because the weather was pretty stellar. It has been all spring and summer. So I figured, well, we're getting into this, maybe I can get her into jogging. She does like to kind of run races and stuff. So we can kind of do like an interval thing and kind of train for it and maybe we'll do 5K. Well, totally forgot about it. Obviously, I don't like to run that much. I like to lift weights. So I ended up not uh just not trying to push her towards any specific running goals or anything like that. Because it's kind of ridiculous at her age anyway. It's kind of ridiculous in general unless you love running, unless that's your jam. Same thing with weightlifting. If you don't love weightlifting, there's a zillion different ways to stay fit, get moving. But I'm not going to talk from a work perspective right now. So anyway, we masked up, we got some lunch on the road, and we headed over to the trails to kind of do a 5K our way. So my goal was to have us at least hit the 5K mark, at least 3.1 miles. I think 3.1, 3.2, whatever, something like that. So, but the way we do it, we're like out in the trails. It was about 70 degrees. It was in the afternoon, so there wasn't really much wildlife and wasn't very many people because there's no waterfall or peak on that trail. It's just trails through the woods, which is was kind of cool. It was so quiet. It was kind of weird. Like you didn't hear rustling animals or anything like that. It's been a little, animals have been a little strange in general today. Even tonight, Odin and Apollo are very quiet, which is interesting. But it is also our first rainstorm in a while. We're having some rain tonight, which is nice. The hike was good. She actually hiked for most of it. We took lots of breaks. I mean, it took about 2 hours to do almost 4 miles when everything was said and done, which wasn't bad. Um, we sat down for a while and let her play and discovered some slugs and caterpillars, and that was about it. Bees, and hiked back. Um, we discovered this really cool trail called the Powerline Trail, which goes up, up, up steep hills and then up and then down. It's a really narrow trail. So I'm guessing if you've got a mountain bike, this is a roller coaster. But kiddo loved getting to the top and then running down the hill and then trudging to the top because she was so tired from running and then running down the next hill and then needing a break. So I was able to turn them into kind of academic lessons too, which is always kind of fun because we read all the signs we hit up along the way, and we ended up power line is follows power lines. So there's big telephone poles along the way, and we pointed at the letters and numbers and codes on the telephone pole, and she was able to read them to me, which is pretty cool. So, um, nature school for the win. We got an email from her teachers, and she's going to be in a different place with a lot of different kids, like a different forest than they're used to, with different teachers. So her opening up to adults thing will be starting from ground zero, pretty much. And the part of me that wants to baby her is like, well, maybe I should see if I can get her switched to a group where she knows the teachers. And the other side of me is like, no, she needs to be adaptable, and she's not going to change if she's not faced with a situation where she needs to change. So, So this will hopefully, knock on wood, help work that with that. Her best friend right now is going to be in the same group of kids though, which is awesome. Um, so that will be good. Um, I haven't made much progress other than that. Tonight I'm gonna send out emails to start up my next batch of nutrition clients on the 1st. So that'll be cool. It's gonna be a real small group, just like 3, which is great. I get to adapt the program to them. They get to know each other, they get to get their feet wet. I get to keep my feet wet and hone my skills in talking to different people and coaching different people. And because coaching really is an art, so I'm learning. Um, and I've always considered myself more of a coach than a trainer. It's hard to say that there's a difference, but someone once said, Julian Pinot, um, a very well respected strength coach. I won't go into his background, you can Google it, but he once said, a trainer will teach someone how to squat. A coach will teach that person how to squat on that day. So while a trainer can give you all the mechanics and the rundown and have you do the movement, on the days when the movement's not coming together or things aren't working the way they should, the coach is going to go the extra mile to figure out how and why and what's going on and adapt the program to the person. So I've always kind of considered myself more along that lines. I operate a lot out of intuition and I trust my intuition. So far it's been pretty good. So for the hike, I only had to carry the kid for probably about a mile. Did not bring the carrier, the backpack carrier, with me this time. Um, I'm not sure if I regret that or not yet. Luckily, she's big enough to like piggyback fairly comfortably. She's very long, so she's very tall. So we did, I think I carried her on my shoulders for about a quarter of a mile early on. I took a bunch of breaks along the way, of course, and then on the way back, it was about um, I think it was at the .8 mile marker sign to our parking slot that I ended up just piggybacking her. So bonus points for that, but at least it was all downhill at that point. She was happy. There were much worse ways that could have gone down, and arguing with a child to walk when their legs are tired is stupid. Could you get an adult to do it? Probably not. They might go a little bit further, but they're going to say, my legs hurt, I need to sit down. Much less a kid whose body is constantly growing. So, anyway, today was my husband's birthday, so I got to chat with him a bit. Broke out one of our mochi cupcakes in the freezer from her birthday, and celebrated and ate a cupcake and enjoyed the fact that he had a birthday today. I mean, welcome to military life. There's not a whole lot we can do, so we don't try to make up for holidays we miss. We just kind of plow forward. So today was birthday. Um, it's just been it's a tiring day. I mean, I'm tired. Like I was hoping to make this to 10 minutes, but I really want to just finish the last 15 minutes of this episode of Supernatural and go to bed. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right. Um, Today was bright and pretty and sunny and exhausting and beautiful, and hopefully tomorrow will be better.